Good day and good evening and welcome back to Roulette Live with me, Chaiji, but you can just call me Kai. Tonight, I felt like playing Black Mage. So we're playing Black Mage. That's it, really. It'll be as usual. I will as usual, I'll clean up from whatever I was doing before. But I'll basically be doing mental roulettes. That's it. And just as the full explanation is that I will usually announce a time on the Eorzea time that I will queue, because then if you're on the Chaos Data Center and you want to try and like queue into me, like maybe you're also queuing mental roulette, you might also be trying to like snipe me into landing in a specific duty. I don't mind. You would possibly be able to do that even without me announcing it. But by me saying when I'm queuing, you can react. Or you don't even need to react, because you will be able to queue at the same time despite the stream delay. That's basically the whole story. Now, with that said, hey Teldemar, hey Lana, hey Redmaster, hey Agent Monica, hey Aradel, hey Rost, hey Saros, hey Nox, hey Zaf, hey Gassel, hey Scottish Bookworm, hey Jomi, hey Mizu, hey Tessie, hey Sackboy, hey Tubby, hey Ilya, hey Rin, and hey Emily. Hope you're all doing very well. But that's basically the plan. I just felt like, oh, I actually want to play Black Mage. That's it. Liama, hope you're doing well. Speaking of, I will queue when it says 28. Hey Dan, hope you're doing well. Oh yeah, speaking of, it's still Mock-Tome event. Something that I found incredibly funny is that last week we had Fates, you know, a classic, and then Chocobo racing, but this one was bugged. So they recommended you do it in the tutorial, because if you did a real race with other players, only one person would get credit, supposedly. So like it kind of didn't work, but they said do 3 of them. This week they have Triple Triad, which is again a classic, and then they have do one, just one Crystalline Conflict match. Which I think is really funny. Like here they're like, make them do 3. Surely people will do 3 Chocobo races, right? Now when it's PvP they're like, maybe we can convince them if we just say 1. Just 1. Redmaster says, so does that mean people were actually in the second floor of Gold Saucer? I'm pretty sure a lot of people just did 5 Fates. I'll say Naomi, hope you're doing well. And Sylvie, hope you're doing well as well. I did the Chocobo races, and I can safely say that if you have already unlocked Chocobo racing and can just go straight to the tutorial, then you can do each of those, like each clear in like 2 or 3 minutes. So it's like under 10 minutes if you're quick. And I'm pretty sure that's faster than doing Fates. Jose Rax, hope you're doing well. Chocobo races are too laggy. Oh yeah, to be clear, that's also why I'm saying if you do the tutorial, the reason why I'm saying you can do it in under 3 minutes if you know what you're doing is because the tutorial is just do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, and each task appears once you've done one. Which also means that if you know what the next task is before like it visually appears, you can just move into position to do it, and then it'll just like before it can even tell you what to do, it'll just be like task completed, and then move on to like slowly show the next one, so you can like speed run it. And yeah, if you like this also circles back to what I've said before about, for instance, leveling. If you have a task on the Mokpendium that you were going to do anyway, then obviously do that one. Like that's basically just free extra stuff. So for instance, if you actually stand to gain something from winning against this guy in particular, that's probably more valuable than doing a crystalline conflict match. And similarly, if you need bicolor gemstones or something. Oh boy, are we starting with a guild test? I'm guessing we're starting with a guild test. It would be very in character to start with a guild test, wouldn't it? Are you ready for a guild test? Or maybe the healer just doesn't respond. Jose Flems, hope you're doing well. Hey, Lamau. Oh, I don't want to take that. Those bomb tosses stun, you see. I should have held that thunder for the next barrier, I think. Bruh. Bruh. Yeah. Weekly guild has roulette grind. Yeah, you know, it's not far off. That would be the saddest way for this to go. Because Black Mage is so sad in guild tests. Whoops. The healer knew me. Right, I will queue when it says 43. No, because it's kind of weird of Kai to commit to doing 3 hours of guild tests as Black Mage. I'm hoping that it won't be like that, but it would be very classic, wouldn't it? Like, every time I cure something that is like, oh, it wouldn't actually be that bad if I got a guild test. Like, there's something to be done. It's like, nope, you get only harder duties, or maybe even a max level duty if you're not the best at this job in max level. You choose something like Black Mage. Guess what? I think that happened many times. Oh! You know, that's not too bad. We take those. But many times when I was doing, like, just, for instance, just mages, I'd be like, do Red Mage get, like, a random duty? Do Pictomancer get maybe a guild test because fire and red? And then I get Summon, and then I get some random duty, and then I do Black Mage. Oops, skill test. not too bad. We have Paradox. Bruh, really? Right in my ley lines? Okay. Emilio, hope you're doing well, and thank you for celebrating 25 months as part of the Cult of the Pink. Thanks so much for the support. Explosion! Yeah, if one day I logged in to find that ley lines had just like the visual for it had just been replaced with like a ring target, then I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't even blink. It would just be like, yeah, that's probably pretty accurate. For a moment I was worried the healer had gone AFK. Imagine if they made ley lines lawn-sized. That would be quite something. Especially with the way that you can move them. I think I should be able to get away with this. Would people outrage at that? I don't even know. You make an excellent point that it wouldn't... like, if people actually got mad that ley lines were made bigger, it wouldn't surprise me. But it also wouldn't surprise me if everyone would just be like, oh yeah, sweet. Oh boy. That was a last moment. People would get mad no matter what? Yeah. Yeah, probably. So someone would get mad at the very least. Yoink. Yeah, I was expecting that the healer didn't notice the Doom either. But it does look like the whole mechanic on this fight is... I don't get this dungeon very often, so it's like, yeah, obviously, but I don't see things go that wrong very often. It seems like instead of giving Vuln stacks, that boss just gives you stacks of a debuff that makes it so that the Doom debuff that it gives you will have a shorter duration.
Hurry, Golbez! The city is already overrun!
Lannis has got a Mesa terminal run 2 days ago. The healer died twice on the second boss because they didn't Ashuna themselves.
First the villages and now the capital.
You know,
Nothing
the
is
worst
exempt
part
from
about
their
that is that
avarice.
I wonder if they learned anything. You know what I mean? Like, if you still cleared the duty, I'm legitimately wondering whether they just were like, oh, that was weird. And then just, like, next time they get the dungeon, they'll just, like, get it wrong again. Hey, Yanza. Hope you're doing well. And hey, Dinky and Brontom. Hope you're doing well as well.
Fear my wrath.
Everyone expected someone else to finish off that one mob, I think. Thank you for celebrating 20 months as part of the Cult of the Pink, Brontom. Thank you so much for the support. This jury duty was cancelled. Gotta drive an hour home now. Oh boy. But hey, day off. It's pretty good. Yeah, exactly, Taliban. What a weird duty. Why does the boss just have like a one-shot mechanic? I mean, that's not very fun.
This one is dangerous. Have care.
Looking
goblins.
at the icon, isn't that Nox? Well, thank you for celebrating a year as part of the Cult of the Pink. Thank you so much. It's really, really weird that the YouTube decided to change the display there. Is it not? I thought it was you. Wolfman. What was Wolfman's display name? It's a different Nox. Because I haven't played healer and Mesa, what needs to be Ashuna? The specific ad targeting the healer specifically will use a thing that needs to be ow. That needs to be they just apply doom to the healer. They don't do it to anyone else. It's just the healer. So you just have to pay attention to yourself. Hey Cat, thank you for celebrating 22 months as part of the Cult of the Pink. And good evening to you as well. Thank you, Aradil, for celebrating 31 months as part of the Cult of the Pink. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you. Oh boy. Oh boy. Running out of the same pit. Is liking still a gain on 1? Always. Always. That's really random. Very confusing situation. I think the Antlion boss here didn't get the memo. They missed the ring target.
that they command such terrible beasts bodes ill. We've no time to lose. Such destruction. If only we had returned sooner.
A dog! Oof. Oh right, there's another pack further down. I completely forgot about that. My bad. Can't reach it though. Can't reach the dog. I'm coming over. Thank you for celebrating 15 months as part of the Cult of the Pink Zelda. Thank you so much. So many celebrations today. Thank you.
I dare say we'll be fast.
Amazing. Hope you're doing well. I'm glad to have you. It is pretty funny about that, Zaf, that mechanics that are like, well, rather specifically Doom, that can be removed by being healed, is frequent enough that it is a little strange that there's just no, like, unique indicator for that one. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships, Frontom. Thank you. Wow. This duty be like, oops, all celebrations. It's going to look really funny in the video. Thanks, No Zero. Hope you're doing well. Oh. We have a watcher of the cutscenes. Oh no, I can't read the minimap. What are we gonna do? Nico, hope you're doing well.
So be it. I will fight you with all my strength.
Ow.
Ether to fortify my blade.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I need power. Light or dark, it matters not.
Light or dark, it matters not. I would actually prefer to hear a boss say something like that. I need power. No, not that kind of power. Ugh.
Such savagery irritates you.
No, 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 no. It has to be specifically dark themed. Come on. You want to be cool, obviously. Or even better, like just a character that has like a lot of magic, like a lot of power, but it's completely off, like it's completely weird because it's like not correctly themed. Like he's just dressed in full black or something, really edgy outfit, and then he starts casting spells and it's just like rainbows and unicorns appearing. He's just like, look. You don't look a gift horse in the mouth, do you? Like, just if you're given free power, you take it, obviously. Like, don't ask. Just don't ask. It was worth it, okay? It was a good deal. Edgy Sugar Riot.
Even so, I'll not be bested. Not this day.
Yeah, he does. He does. Water, froth and foam. Look, it's a good spell, okay? It's very effective.
It's over, my friend.
Whatever you say, buddy. For a little point of reference, this is around where, like, that mechanic that just happened is usually where the boss dies in my experience.
See how you fare now.
So when I say it's that it might have been a little slow, you know, the second boss was also partly thanks to me. But then that's my point of reference. Yes, my powers are very silly, but these things have given me results like you wouldn't believe. It's very strong. Have you seen its spells? It casts Blizzard 7. 7? You heard me. It's somehow simultaneously single target and AoE. So it's a single target with it's AoE AoE with a drop off? No. It's single target and AoE. Light or dark, or fire or water or air or earth. Like, look, I'll take a popsicle if it makes me stronger. I will queue when it says 20. 20. Hey Ryan, hope you're doing well. Yeah, Syndicate, hope you're doing well as well. So he got the spell from the original Final Fantasy 2. Oh, right. They did have Blizzard 7, didn't they? The spell changes based on context, you see. I need power. It's just such a funny random thing that he's like he's specifically clarifying that it could be light or dark. It's so specific. I was like, Xavier, hope you're doing well. Light or dark, it matters not. Cure 4, I think, is a thing. Cure 4 is a thing in 14. I'm pretty sure. Isn't there a mob in is it this one? I think it's this one. That uses Cure 4. And then there's also Lost Cure 4. Strangely, white mages in 14 just never learned. Brontom had a question. Brontom says, I actually never thought to ask Denmark gonna have all stores closed for a month like in Norway. What? What's the context on that, Brontom? Huh? Also, hey Tenchi, hope you're doing well, and thank you so much for the super chat. Hope you're having a good time. Wake up! There's so much happening all at once, so it's a little difficult to keep track of everything. Are stores just straight up closed during December in Norway? That seems a little problematic, to say the least. I'm pretty sure in Denmark that stores are closed. Like, not all stores are like this, but I do know, on account of the fact that my mom works in a store, that there are stores that are only closed like in December for like half of the 24th, I think. And like part of New Year's, I think. Ever heard of Bilka? Bilka. Ah, yes, that's a classic just woke up problem, Tenchi. Maybe it'll get patched out in the next version. I don't know when the next patch notes are coming. I think we've been waiting for years on it. Really, really annoying. So really like really, really bad game design. That you're really tired, so you go to bed, then you wake up, and then you're still tired. Imagine if video games worked like that. An 8-man duty, guys. Are you ready? Are you ready for Solemn Trinity? Ramu Extreme? Ramu Extreme? Any Ramu Extremers? Hey Sally, hope you're doing well. Naidgi, hope you're doing well as well. Well, we didn't get anything after all. In before what we're getting next is gonna be a guild test. What's really funny about that, Sally, is it's many years since I've played any Sims game, but in like Sims 1 and 2, I think, you had very open ability to choose like the stat line of your sim. So what would make sense would be to like put a lot of points in being like, you know, active, because if you're a very active person, then you would almost instantly step out of bed at any time. Simultaneously, if you made your character like really disgusting, then they would only do things like clean their hands if you told them to. And they would also, I believe they would also like feel unhygienic slower and things like that. So there was like, you could optimize your stat line to like get around things. Yeah, exactly, min-maxing Sims. Look, I'm just saying, I was like, I don't know, like 10. And we just realized that if you put a lot of points in that, then your character would take less time to get out of bed. And if you put more points in that, it would do that. And if you put less points in this other thing, then they would waste less time on things you didn't actually ask them to do. I'll say cool. Hope you're doing well. The one sprout that's been in queue for Shiva Extreme for 2 hours fell asleep. Oh. I'll say Medusa. Hope you're doing well. Or you could go for the true goal, making the perfect grilled cheese. I'm just saying, at least Sims 1 for the PlayStation was very, very poorly balanced. The most effective way to make money was just to make, like, garden elves. Say Silver, hope you're doing well. Where are we going now? It's just normal, guys. Calm down. It's just normal. But we have, I see Ilana.
Oppose our crusade, then come. But know that none shall deny us salvation. This place shall be your tomb.
Not in my direction, please. Ah, man. Oh, man.
I will free us from the wheel.
Nope. Hey, Kraken Mo. Hope you're doing well.
Where my Rhine-kissed blades. I will suffer no obstacle.
Oh yeah, actually, pretty interesting follow-up to the duty we just had. That is a good point. Hey Ham, hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's Blade, the man, the legend, the Blade.
Let lightning surge.
Ah. 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 Roulette stream, but I only fight gold bears. And the first duty was actually just a mix-up because the first duty was goblins. Oh, you meant golbears, not goblins. Ah, sorry. We got it now. Calibrating. Glad to hear that, Tenchi. That is one that Ridleyan gave me.
Dark and hero's blade, I bring my people liberation.
Liberation! Bam!
You shall know true terror.
You shall know true terror! No. Maybe on console, but on PC, that game is not here anymore.
Dragon, hear me and obey.
Dragon!
Crush them.
Power goes out. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And circle AoE, surprise!
Bathe them in black flame.
Bathe them in black flame! Oh, that's
My meteors will extinguish your light.
He actually straight up killed someone with that. Hey Astrakin, hope you're doing well. You voice acted for this game? I wish. I'm just a poor imitator.
Look to the heavens for your doom.
Look to the heavens for your doom. This doom you remove by being healed to full.
You wretch.
That's your doom. Does God have a doom for me? Golbez has a doom for you.
Come forth, my servant of shadow.
I'm glad to hear that, Ashokan. Thank you so much. And welcome to the game.
Lightning surge.
Can you not search on my ley lines? Oh, never mind. It's fine. I goofed and didn't paradox. I deserve it, I guess. Oh, well, at least it was the extra paradox from Mana Font, so it's not too bad.
A raging gale to rend you asunder.
A raging gale to rend you asunder. And I cast thunder. Uh-oh.
Be gone.
Be gone. Whoa. Made it. Didn't make that. Made this. But that is a good point, Aradel. If you want to hear most of the MSQ, all of the parts that don't have any voice acting in it, voice acted by someone, then I did it, technically, on stream.
Look to the heavens for your doom.
Ah, yes, my doom. This one is assurable. Look to the heavens for your doom! Hey, Asymmetricon. Hope you're doing well. And hey, Jason. Hope you're doing well as well. Wait a minute, was that a mock tome duty? It was! Hey! Happy birthday, Jason! Hope you have a good day! Right, ILQ when it says 56. Most of them will tome duties. Based on my experience, both this time and last mock tome, and possibly even the one before that. Whoa. Game, what happened? What happened to my mental roulette queue? Was Emily in that duty? The other mentors woke up. That's why it's called Final Fantasy XIV. Ah, yes. You were the Viper. Oh, nice. Yet again, all Kaidi pit. Oh yeah, that's true. You were there too. And not only that, Nox, we also need Xenoglassy to be buffed like an extra 10 potency. Why 10? No reason. I am perfectly aware that if it got buffed another 10 potency, it would actually be equal to Flare Stun potency. It just needs to get buffed again for the memes. Tenji says, should I work on my NA or EU character today? That is difficult. That is a difficult question. I don't know. The weekly mocked... actually, let me explain that, Medusa. This one, like the standard objectives, is the same for everyone, obviously. This one is the same for everyone. And this one is the same for everyone. But this one, the weekly objective, is... player specific. Meaning that sometimes you can just get screwed. Like my favorite one, in terms of like how silly it is I think it was last Mock Tome season where there was like someone who was on the free trial that was like, yeah, I can't see what my objective is. But I believe it directed them to Wolf's Den Pierre or something for the unlock. I'm not quite sure. I believe the conclusion was that it said that they had to do rival wings. Like, that was the implication. But free trials can't do PvP if I remember correctly. So not only was it out of their reach, it was like you have to pay to access it. It's not too bad. Like, it's not like they're like, well, now you can't get any mock tomes. It's just a little silly. Oh, that one too, Red Master. Getting rival wings as your weekly objective is like a huge hit or miss. Because you might be lucky and it just pops. But you could also just not be able to do it because no one's queuing for it. Also, hey, Agent Panda. Hope you're doing well. But I will say, on my end, the way that I usually treat it is, if I'm not busy with anything, I'll just park myself in the gold source and I'll like passively get a whole bunch of mock tomes. Which also means that if a mini-mock or weekly objective is really inconvenient for me, I'll just not do it. I'll manage. I will manage. Dan says, unlocked Coils of Bahamut yesterday. Anything I should know? A few things. The first one is that Coils of Bahamut is, roughly speaking, balanced like Savage raids. Not normal raids, Savage raids. Second, Coils of Bahamut is not in any roulettes. Which means, third, the best way to approach Coils of Bahamut is either to find a pre-made, post up in Party Finder, or do it unsynced. Because it's not gonna happen if you queue for it. But yeah, it's balanced like Savage. So unless you already have a lot of experience with extreme trials, then it's going to be pretty rough. I'll say 8 luck. Hope you're doing well. And yeah, if you just want to experience the story, just grabbing one person with a max level job or something should be able to get you through. And see, the problem is, Tenshi, let me put it like this. The duties that are not in a normal trial, like in a normal roulette, sorry, in any capacity, are duties that are generally considered so hard that they are not meant for a random group to do. So while it might sound fun, it'll probably be pretty rough. Oh wow! You wear water. You wear water. You know, not like it's anything super special. But quite random that I've had 2 dungeons and both of them featured a tank that kind of looked like that just stood there for a while, like they were surprised to find themselves in a dungeon. Couldn't they just rebalance it like they did all the other stuff? See, the thing is, let me put it like this, Tenshi. The stuff they have rebalanced in A Realm Reborn have not really been changed in difficulty by very much. For them to make Coils of Bahamut, I suppose, be like a fitting difficulty for like a normal difficulty stuff, they'd have to pretty massively overhaul it. And the big question is whether it's worth it. But they probably could. They probably could. Hey Necrophits, hope you're doing well. And thank you. But yeah, they probably could. I couldn't possibly say why they haven't, but let's just say that the stuff that they have rebalanced in A Realm Reborn haven't really been rebalanced in that sense. It's more so that they've just been slightly adjusted, like maybe one mechanic has been changed or removed. The only one that has been like pretty massively changed is, I think, Thornmarsh. But I do agree, based on how frequently nowadays it seems like the story just goes ahead like as if Coils of Bahamut already happened, it would make sense for them to add a normal version. I'm just saying, there's a point in the Endwalker story, I'm not going to get into specifics, but there's a point in the Endwalker story where it basically assumes that Coils of Bahamut has been cleared. Bruh. Bruh. Uh-oh. Whew. The ring target strikes again. What do you mean, Ilana? The point in Heavensward where Alice is introduced will only have her act like she knows you, like you've met before, if you have done the coils, I'm pretty sure. The game assumes that you did it anyways? Really? Well then. Well, I don't remember well enough. So if you're sure that she just assumes, then fair enough. How? Even? How? I'm very confused right now. Did you see the enmity there? I think I'm too powerful. Hey Harry and Uber Penguin, hope you're doing well. Not going decently well, although we had a very interesting situation where it told me that the queue time was 17 minutes. Oh, it's one of those days. Our tank is not very strong. You know, I feel like that's fair. It's really weird how the tank just stops and starts like that. I'm very curious what's going on there. No Bachman yet? No, but we did start with flicking sticks and taking names. Hey, yes, Rita. Hope you're doing well. I think the tank might die. Never mind. Man, guys, Black Mage is so immobile, can't dodge anything. What am I to do? Splat. Each one. Hope you're doing well. Everyone's most hated duty that is not Praetorium? I think that depends on what the context is of the question. Yeah, I don't know which duty I would hate the most. To give an example of why I'm saying it kind of depends is like, let's say I'm queuing as DPS. I sat in the queue for, I don't know, 10 minutes. Finally it pops. And it's Bachman. It's under the armor. Then I'm like, you can basically, if the queue time is that long and I'm doing mental roulette, then you can basically list any guild hist and I'm be like, yeah, sure, I don't like that one. But in other contexts, it'd be something else. I'm still shocked about the 26 wipes, Brontome. Because I'm like, how do you wipe 26 times in 90 minutes? Save him, and Emil, hope you're doing well. Why is our carby not that big? You don't feed it enough greens. And meat. It hungers. Maybe that's the real reason why it's so shaky all the time. It's like it's having the food shakes. It's like... Argh. There's no green mages in games to feed it. Is the paladin gonna die here? No, they knew that much. Okay. I was a little worried for a second. Speaking of worried, I feel like I'm mildly justified in being worried right now. The Herculean effort of this healer. You did it! They run away with the tank buster. The healer knows me. Hey, Sleepy Vlad. Hope you're doing well. Let's see here. I will be right back, and then we'll continue. In the meantime, Manatee restored. And alright, I'm back. Quantum says this whole time he's been saying manatee and not humanity restored. Yep. That's the joke. Sure, that's just a thing. Yes, I did, Kay. Hope you're doing well. I see that you're not. Hopefully you're doing well soon. You know what's even funny about that one, Brontome? I'm not saying that, oh, you missed the signs or something. It's just funny with what else we have. Let me see if I can find it. Can he find it? Can he find it? We have this. And the emote on the Discord is also called Manatee Restored. Yeah, that's fair, Brontome. And Aradel made this, that's correct. We also have this one. I specifically pointed this out after I said that how could Brontome possibly have known? Because like these were posted very rarely on the Discord. And if you don't look, then you don't notice. But it's just on the topic, I think it's really funny. And just to add something else, while we're on the I have a whole folder with memes people have made. Let's have a short meme break. Me, who else made this around the launch of Dawntrail? The Watcher had a talk with a certain turtle. The true final boss of Dawntrail. I'll say, Krampus, hope you're doing well. It's been a bit, hasn't it? I have a few more. I think. Oh yeah, we also have a Milo that made this one. And then some of you, oh, thank you, Ardo. Some of you may remember the "What if the whole party sucked" video that I put out a while ago. It has been making it is making some returns. Like some people have been watching it more recently, quite weirdly. Cole made this one, which I think is hilarious. Yeah, I don't quite know what happened, Brontome. For some reason, the algorithm just decided that it's good. It's time for the return. Was that before or after he started some main Black Mage in 7.2? I'm pretty sure that video is... the whole party sucked thing, I'm pretty sure is from before... I'm pretty sure it's from before 7.2? And the non-standard Black Mage rotation short is from Endwalker. Anyway, where were we? I will queue when it says 39. I say, how's the visual spark? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, exactly. I noticed that it was getting like it was suddenly doing the rounds because I can see in the YouTube studio, I can see that that it suddenly got like a little bit of a spike in views. And then I went to my I have a private account, guys. Surprise. And it got recommended to me twice. I'm like, I mean, I have watched it. I watch my own content. Thank you, Erdil. I think the funniest bit is that people almost always get... there are some people that whenever I use footage from that video, they get like... they have an aneurysm over how bad it looks. I'm just saying there's something quite effective in demonstrating how little you need to do as a healer in like a dungeon context by just showing footage of not attacking. Just a healer just never attacking, just standing there in a boss fight, just... I sure wonder when I'm needed. Rondo says, I got that shot on day 1 of the rework and was like, ha, that aged well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of the non-standard shenanigans from the Endwalker short kinda already had been like, not that useful. By the launch of Dawntrail. And then the rework happened. I'll say the main thing I have with healers in Final Fantasy XIV attacking is not the problem that they're attacking. The problem in my head, because, you know, it's an opinion thing, right? The reason why I'm like, it's not super great, is that healers in Final Fantasy XIV have so many options to heal with the OGCD that it feels like the GCD is primarily for attacking. And then, if you absolutely have to, go on then, use a GCD for healing, which I think is a little backwards. In my opinion, healers absolutely should be like, well, I don't have anything else to do, I should attack. But I don't think it should be in such a way where you're basically attacking more than you're healing. Or that it should be seen as a bad thing that you use your GZD for healing. But by the way 14 is designed, it's not that simple to fix. Because, like, a large part of why it is this way is, like, it, quote-unquote, it wasn't always like this. Like, once upon a time, there was, you know, not that many OGCDs, so healers kind of had to use their GCD for healing. But then, as time has gone on, it's like, you don't, like, if you want to give jobs something new every expansion, it's like, well, what do you give the healer that already has everything? Like, in A Realm Reborn, they gave the healers a single target heal, a stronger single target heal, some sort of special single target heal region, and at least one AoE heal. In the case of White Mage, several. Do you need anything else? Not really. What do you give them? Like, on the GCD? Not really anything. Like, the only example of something where it's like, it actually makes sense to give them that is, like, for instance, a Flautos Rapture or a Flautos Solace. It's like, it is a GCD heal, but you can't spam it. How's it, Shaq? Hope you're doing well. The problem is simply that if you want to give jobs like up to 5 new things, in an expansion, then what do? Cat says, we yelled at healers that didn't attack all the way back in Heavensward. This is nothing new. That is true. That is true. That is also true. I would say, based on my history lessons that I've gotten, in A Realm Reborn, like, really strong players were like, yeah, the healers should be attacking. In Heavensward, it started to become more normal to expect healers to attack. At least somewhat. And in Stormblood, where I came in, I could at least say that healers had to think a little bit about how they went about attacking, because AoE spells cost a lot of MP. So if you just spammed Holy until you couldn't anymore, then you wouldn't have the MP to heal the tank if they needed it. But not attacking at all was still, like, weird. Jose Costa, hope you're doing well. And the thing is, I don't know how you would easily fix it. Like, the only way I could possibly see healers be less focused on attacking would be by putting more focus on the GCD. And give you less OGCD options. That would be a way to do it. But then there's also the detail that, or alternatively, move power away from the OGCDs and make the GCDs stronger. But if you do that, then you're going to, like, very quickly run into the weird situation where you have, like, I don't know, Tetragrammaton be like 300 cure potency. Because if it's more than that, then it's too strong. And it has to be weak enough that it's a supplement to the GCD. I would also say on, like, on my opinion on healing, I also feel like, and I've talked about this many times before, I think, I would probably be a lot more indifferent to healers attacking a lot if their attacks did something defensive. Doesn't have to be much. A suggestion I've given is, like, based on Fellowship, the game, is it doesn't have to be much. It could be like, when you use Glare, your Lily gauge pushes forward by 1 second. The cooldown of Aetherflow is reduced by 1 second when you use Broil. Something like that. It's so little that it's like, yeah, it's not gonna change much, but it at least makes it feel like even if your fill attack did nothing other than that, it would still be like your filler move that you're using because you have nothing more important to do, instead of you're using it for the damage. I don't know how you get that interpretation, Kay. Because as I actually started this with saying, I don't think it's a bad idea for healers to have an attack to go fall back on when there's nothing else to do. But I think that there is a little bit of a problem with the GCD being primarily for attacking. I started with that. I don't know if you like derped out for 5 minutes while I talked about this. But I started with that. So I don't know how you're getting the interpretation that I think that healers shouldn't be attacking. Or that I don't like that they're attacking. I was like, Isarashi, hope you're doing well. Thank you, Aerodel. You said you would be more neutral and healers attacking if healers attacks had a defensive component. Yeah. because my current stance on healers attacking K is a little bit aggressive towards why is it the primary purpose of their GCD. And by neutral, I mostly mean if they had such an effect, then I wouldn't have anything to say. Whether it's negative or positive is a point of interpretation. Hey Joseph, hope you're doing well. Like, saying that I would be neutral on it doesn't necessarily say that I'm negative on it. But what I mean by that is that at present I have a lot to say on it, as you can hear. But if they did something defensive, it just did something. And I think the most interesting part in this conversation is Scholar can put their defensive resource Etherflow into damage. Sage can heal by attacking, sure. But it is so weak that most players just park Cardia on a tank and then forget about it. Astrologians care more about getting their cards out the door so that they can get more damage cards. And White Mage uses healing to get Flatus Misery, not the other way around. If healers had more reasons to attack, you'd be less bothered by them not doing so. I don't think you understood what I said, Kay. If you think that I was talking about being bothered about them not attacking. Say easy. Hope you're doing well. Hello to everyone that came in the middle of that. Hope you're doing well. Oh, staff. That's a very convenient one. Very lucky. Oh, someone's gonna die. And we continue the death. Thank you, Ross. Enjoy your evening. Oh. Yes, the scholar, one of the healers died. Nope, it's on that tank. Will they use knockback immunity? They will not. Oh, here comes the hard part. Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that. You can take it alone if you're gonna do it like that. Oh boy. Ow. Because I just realized Naomi's here. And Telema's also here. I also just realized that now. And the worst part is that nearly all of the things that I'll have to explain again are things that I'll have to explain again. Because a lot of the things that went wrong here were literally things that I explained that just went in one ear and out the other, I think. Is a coin. We'll be doing well. And Matthew. Sarachi says, is this extreme difficult to complete in a POC setting like this? No, but the difficulty depends on how good at following a strategy the party is. I've done this one with first timers, first pull. I've also had multiple pulls with people that should know better. So it really, really comes down to who do you have? Uh-oh. Oh, I'm dead. I'm not dead. Wow. Have you ever had a tank, had an extreme where the tank just pulls immediately? So we have time to explain, continue to do so after each wipe? I have. Most of the time they either end up giving up themselves, or the party gives up, or eventually they learn that it doesn't work and they stop doing it. It's a bit of a mixed bag. I think our white mage is terrified. And they're going to run out of MP very quickly. They used Cure 3 with almost no one needing any healing whatsoever. And the terrified healer is going to Narnia, I think. They're taking the bard with them! And here comes probably the really hard part if we don't finish the fight quickly. Yep, here it comes. Nailed it, and then away. Yeah, exactly, Lana. That's also what I interpreted. Is it seems like they got the "you have to stack or you will die" part. Didn't quite recognize the "and then you have to face her away or she will kill everyone else" part. Just to wrap up on what I was saying before about healers attacking. My perspective on it is I don't mind that healers are attacking. In fact, I feel like the, older MMO design where healers just stand there doing nothing when they don't need to heal is stupid. It's kind of meh. Like, at least let them do something. Make them feel like they're active. Make them have reason to do something else. And attacking is an excellent fallback point. But it has to be the fallback. It's what you do when there's nothing else to do. In my opinion. However, if your attacks generate a resource for you of some sort, whether it generates resource faster for you than if you're not attacking, or it generates something for you. It just does something, and I'm just saying, I think Cardia is an interesting starting point, but it's not good enough. It's not good enough. As long as the average Sage goes, I just put Cardia on the tank and then I don't think about it anymore, then it is not good enough. Then it is not good enough. And it doesn't have to be much. It just has to be something where your attack feels like it does something. And the reason why I feel like Cardia is not a super great example of that is if attack is what you fall back on when nothing else is needed, then Cardia is not very helpful in the time where you would be attacking the most. Which is why I feel like it being a resource generator or it helps you refresh a cooldown or something is a much better design. Because the reason you're attacking right now is because your party is fine. If your party was not fine, then surely you'd be casting a healing spell. Question mark. Not in Final Fantasy XIV. You'd probably just use an OGSD, but you get my point. But if it, for instance, made, like for Sage, if it then either instead or in addition to also had doses be like, it makes your Adder Skull timer go 1 second forward when you cast it. Or it made your, I don't know, it made some cooldown, like Fizz's, like cooldown take 1 second faster for a moment when you use doses. Like, just make it so that you can use your attack to like stockpile a resource or something. I don't know. It's a lot more interesting than nothing, which is what White Mage, Astrologian, and Scholar has for their attack. It does nothing. No worries, Kay. But basically my point is, I don't have anything against healers attacking. In fact, I think that it is the obvious fallback point. The problem I have is when healers attacking becomes the primary, which is what it feels a bit like it is in Final Fantasy XIV, which I imagine is part of, like, just one leg of the problem with healers in Final Fantasy XIV, which is why, like, in casual content, they almost feel redundant and things like that, is that they have so much healing that is just not needed. Jose Moza and low IQ chatter. That's not very nice to call yourself that. Also Travis and Rain Soon and Kwasari. Did I miss anyone else? Regal Star and Billy. Hope you're all doing very well. But yeah, I genuinely think it is. There's nothing wrong with having healers attack. I feel like people wanting healers to never attack is weird, because then it just means that like that your gameplay becomes this. Until you need to heal. And the thing is, a lot of the time, I feel like the reason why some people want healers to just not attack is because, well, I don't want to... I want to be resource management. And if I'm attacking, then I'm spending resources on attacking. That's dumb. But you can fix that by... making attacks from healers free or extremely cheap, or, like they've done in Final Fantasy XIV, make it so that you use MP for attacking, rather for healing, rarely enough that it doesn't really matter that attacks spend your MP. How's a Buvamet? Hope you're doing well. Healer T-posing to assert dominance, yeah, exactly. LQ when it says 6. Regal Star says, I think the vast majority of people complaining that healers shouldn't attack are just people who don't want to think about the decisions of heal or attack. Possibly. They might also just be really old school. Because, like, a long time ago, back when some of you couldn't read, probably, healers attacking wasn't very normal. Exactly because, well, attacking costs resources. And also, for some reason, the average player of something like an MMO were so bad that, let's just say that the concept of a healer tank, and no, that's not a tank that is also a healer, it's a healer whose only job is to heal the tank, was a thing. And the reason, in some cases, was legitimately to make sure that that tank wouldn't be forgotten. Which I think is hilarious. So before we became Savage Raiders. But it is probably very likely that it is something like that, Regal Star. That this person, basically, they're coming in with the Conjurer class quest line logic. But I'm good at healing. I don't want to attack. But that's basically where I'm at on it. Is attacking is a good fallback. I just think it's a shame. Like, in all honesty, I also will say that the bigger problem with attacking being such a central point of healers in Final Fantasy XIV is that the rotations for healers seem pretty basic. For it being such a high priority. And I've said that before. I'm just saying, if attacking is such a central part of healers, then make it a more interesting rotation. Exactly as Kat said, if healers are going to spend so much time attacking, it needs to be made more interesting than it is now. And I do recognize, haha, funny, Black Mage uses Fire 4 6 times in a row. Is that much different from White Mage using Glare 20 times in a row? Yes, it is, actually. But, well, it's not 20. It's closer to 11 times in a row. Just a little bit more. Just add a little bit more. Is my perspective on it. It's just add a little bit more. Red Master says some people might think that attacking uses resources, which means less resources for healing when we need it. That is exactly the excuse. That is precisely the excuse, which is also why I'm saying, like, a really simple way to reach that argument is just make attacking free. Just make attacks free. And then make the MP costs actually important on the things that cost MP. That is a way to do it. The problem there is, and this is also something that goes back to the video that Aradil grabbed for me on why some healers are not attacking, is that the kind of player that is like, healers should not be attacking and like really put their foot down on that, may not be convinced by anything to change their mind on that. Even if the attack was free, they're like, well, I need to keep all my GCDs free in case I need to heal someone. And if attacks generated resources for you, like, yeah, but that's for when I'm alone. Like, it actually is pretty funny because a Black Mage has a pretty good example of this. Black Mage has the whole Ice Mage problem, quote unquote, that some Black Mages will just not interact with like the majority of the toolkit. And I think that part of the reason, oh my, the newest dungeon, that is actually incredible. I think that the main motivation for Thunderhead existing is they're basically demonstrating that you can't even use thunder magic if you're not using your if you're not switching elements. But the problem is that the kind of player that would like go full on Ice Mage will just look at Thunderhead and be like, okay, then I won't use Thunder either, I guess. Which is it's a little bit of a roundabout explanation, but it is basically like, I'm basically saying, if Thunderhead was there to give players like a soft nudge to say you're supposed to use all three elements, the player that is being reached out to in that specific context
I shall prepare the stage for battle.
Doesn't care. Guys, I think you're missing a joke from Ham. You know what's even funnier about that one, Regal Star? Is that prior to Dawntrail, there was no trait that specified how much Astral Fire did. But on Dawntrail's launch, like specifically right when it launched, only the traits giving you Astral Fire 2 and 3 specified how much it gave, which meant that the initial Astral Fire just didn't explain it. It just didn't say anything about it. Whoops. Awkward angle. But to be fair on that one, Cat, at level 60 you can do 7 Fire Force. And very true. Black Mage doesn't explain itself very well. Eight drill stops. Hope you're doing well. It would be like giving Monk perfect balance without a follow-up, LMAO.
Oh, you've overburdened the system. No matter. It served its purpose.
And then also making sure that that perfect balance would actually be kind of a DPS loss to use without a follow-up, right? Oh, wait. Say, Seraph. Hope you're doing well. You know, same actually, Red Master. I saw that video too. I was like, oh yeah! When I saw the icons, like, oh, I never looked at that. That's pretty funny.
Next, we visit
The
a prisoner
Okami,
from
hope you're
the
doing well.
I need not compel them to fight.
Oh, whoops. We're getting some strange tanks today. Hey Lilo, hope you're doing well. I don't know what you mean.
These are loyal executioners. They shall deal appropriately with criminals. Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it? Criminals may run, but they cannot escape. To your question, Lilo, consider the following. Final Fantasy XIV can be played entirely without Steam. A percentage of the player base is on console, and it's a long-running MMO
most long-running games like this, it is very unlikely someone will come to leave a review after having played it for 5 years, which means that the Dawntrail page only has people that came to specifically rate that. Which means whether that point, like whether that specific rating is accurate is hard to determine, because some people will have specifically sought it out to hate on it. Some might also be right. But let's just say that I think it is a very, very bad idea to assume that the only thing you need to look at is the Steam review, because it is very unreliable for a game like this. And I would add to that take a moment to think about this one.
Beginning to tire.
Isn't there a reasonable possibility that someone who's actively streaming the game and has a YouTube channel mainly focused on the game would be very biased in their opinion of the game? Do you think I'm the correct person to ask? I usually say, when people ask me if they should get back into the game, I say the only person that can know the answer to that is yourself. I might think it's really fun now. You might not. But I do think that that's a very interesting point, that the base Final Fantasy XIV has a positive rating on Steam still. I didn't even know that.
Memories from an age rife with death.
I actually didn't even consider that that would be a separate rating you'd have. But basically my point is that it's very difficult to determine how viable the information of the Steam review of Dawntrail is. And that is also true, Ceres. That is very true. Hey, humble student. Hope you're doing well. Also, that silver portal. I think I've left like 2 reviews on Steam ever. Hey, Christopher. Hope you're doing well.
An amalgam of memories. Let us see how it fares.
And hey, Hero, hope you're doing well.
It is the midst of the storm surge.
Calm down, Lilo. World of Warcraft has multiple of those kinds of stains too, but it has managed.
War swells in scope and intensity.
In fact, let's not forget that the big boom in players that 14 suddenly got during Shadowbringers was because of such a stain. Isn't that funny?
The bombs rain down.
ZK, hope you're
pause
doing
or
well.
mercy.
That's very ironic. Or very strange. Hey, me. Or almost me.
The spark of life is dimmed with every blinding flash. Death is everywhere.
Evacuate the
hidden
ley
pulse of the
lines.
future.
Guys, gotta. That's pretty good. Also that, Regal Star. Also that. It's basically a mix of, like, nothing in control of Final Fantasy XIV, just making a huge explosion in the player base. Like, it just... Basically, Final Fantasy XIV just existed. And then other stuff happened around it. And then suddenly, it was the big savior of something. Question mark. I don't even know. Ritmaster says, I've noticed more of an internet thing nowadays where you can't have a middling view on things. Everything has to be either awful or amazing, no in between. I have a video on that. I have a video on that. I believe it's called Everything is Brain Dead. Hey Louie, hope you're doing well. And thank you, Aerodel. Sylvie, do you mean on that fight we just had? Thank you, Harry. That is correct. On the final boss there, you can maintain full uptime. When it does the lasers across, I believe it always leaves a little triangle. A right-sided triangle even. Of safety. Are there patterns where they do a line, like horizontal line in front of the boss? Because I think that would be the one that would keep you out. Cat says, I think it's more that only the extremes engage in conversations online and that only extremes get engagement. It's something like that. It ultimately comes down to the extreme opinions is what gets people to click. Which is also why, by the way, that when I make a video where I try my best to talk about a more even-handed opinion on something like Machinist, I lead with, why is Machinist bad? Because now you've clicked on the video. And also, as Sarah says, that's also why I think a lot of things on the internet have gone away from star ratings and things like that. Because most of the time, you only care about the extremely low rated things or the extremely high rated things. It's also where I think some people have difficulty with interpreting something like, for instance, my the hardest boss in a dungeon or the hardest boss in a trial videos, because some people go into it with the, well, they're all easy. Like, they all basically score, like, at most a 3 on the hardness scale for these people. So they, like, it's basically like a 0 as far as they're concerned. So there is no hard one, because they're all too easy to be considered. Anyway, I'll be right back, and then we will continue some more. In the meantime, Manatee restored. Just catching up on the chat. New title drop. Why is mid so mid? But based on, just to catch up a little bit on that, based on my observations of what people are complaining about in Final Fantasy XIV, in a way, it's just the stars aligning in multiple ways. Some players just had enough. Like, as some have mentioned, some players finally did everything that was in the game and have caught up when they got into the game in Shadowbringers with the big influx of players. Some just don't enjoy the jobs anymore because too much has changed. Fair enough. Some don't like the new story. And some find some other thing they don't like. And then they just all culminate in the expansion sucks, which is also why we have this problem where if you combine the negative opinions of everyone, then there's nothing that the expansion has done right. But there are things that arguably have been done right. It's just that the players that think those are right largely, I think, consist of people that just play the game and are like, it's fine. Asymmetricon says mid is one of those words where I just stop paying attention to the opinion, like cooked or peak. Yeah. Everything is either peak, dead, cooked, or mid. And mid somehow is derogatory. What was wrong with being average? I also want to point out, and I have mentioned this before. I think I even have a video like kind of focused on it. That a lot of the problems that people have with Dawntrail. Hey Emil Drum, hope you're doing well, and good luck with yours. And also hey Aramil, hope you're doing well as well. A lot of the problems people are bringing up about Dawntrail are problems that have been in Final Fantasy XIV since before Dawntrail. It was just not something people cared about before Dawntrail. By the way, Alcuin says 42. And some of the things are just things that people did care about, but assumed it'll get fixed eventually. And then it just hasn't been fixed. Like, there are definitely some things that could be dated back to Stormblood, or Heavensward, or even A Realm Reborn, that are like, yeah, but they have a lot of other things on their plate. They'll probably fix it eventually. But after a decade and it not being fixed, it starts to have some players be like, why is it still not fixed? A lot of weird things. But to be fair, some of these things are things that may never have been promised that they will be fixed. It's just players assume that, well, they're not gonna leave that unfixed, surely. Right? Oh, wow. Well, we have an actual gladiator, and we have an Ilana. Salut, 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 salut. Fire! Fire! And fire! Okay, when it says 22. Travis says, I've never once spelled Gobu correctly. I don't even know how you're supposed to pronounce it. And I think I have to look it up every time that I want to write it. Teddy says, I think one of my favorite jokes in the Roulette videos is you using the silly Final Fantasy II remix music for Guildhests instead of the actually kind of cool music Guildhests have. Fun fact, That song is called Hall of the Novice. As far as I know. Something like that. And I use it for literally all A Realm Reborn content, unless it's like an extreme or something. Just like I used to have, like I have a generic expansion theme. And if you see a boss and like, why is he not using the actual like music for that boss? It's because I either A, don't think they're special enough to deserve having their theme, or B, I don't see it frequently enough to seek out a file with that song. Or making it myself. And Hall of the Novice is a, you know, it's A Realm Reborn. It is technically A Realm Reborn combat music. But I'm glad you find it funny. Not a guild test. It's... Sure. Ilana's here. Oh, there's mock tomes on this one. Fantastic. I've only had been, I think it's a 010 that I need for my mock tomes. Oh, yeah, same Necrophits. I've wiped on this one just because so many players just instantly died. Imagine if it was that easy, guys. Just sploop and then there you go. Epic rotation. I should have done some Umbral Souling during this, but too late for that. Hey veteran, hope you're doing well. I'm just doing Black Mage today. Just Black Mage, just Black Mage, just Black Mage, just Black Mage. Ow. Whee! Let's see if I get to stay in these ley lines. Ow. Parallel lines. There. Flee. Not worth. Look. It's an eye. It's the eye. Ponder the orb. I think I should have used my ley lines earlier. So if I recall correctly, it goes absolutely crazy in like 5 seconds. Oh. Well then. I will queue when it says 30. Simba says there's another free Fantasia for this patch. Oh, that is a good point. I can't even remember if I already picked it up. I just grabbed them and then just put them next to the other ones I have. I haven't even used the one you get for free from the MSQ. Eureka stream when? Back when I did the Heavensward Relic stream, I actually did go briefly to Eureka. The problem with a Eureka stream is that by design of Eureka, nothing happens. Like, not quite nothing, but it's a lot of just farming a mob to get a thing to spawn, and then you kill that, and you just go and do it the same again. So I don't think it would make for a very good stream. And there's also the part that I think I have mentioned before. The original thing that got me to quit back in Stormblood, oh, Odin, was Eureka. I didn't want to do any of the hard content. In fact, because I came from WoW, I was so allergic to quote-unquote hard content that I didn't even want to do normal raids or alliance raids, which of course meant what was there left? Eureka. And I didn't like Eureka. And I did that for a bit, and I was like, this is boring. That's not to say there's anything wrong with Eureka, it's just not for me. In a very important detail, as I said. Nothing wrong with Eureka, it's just not for me. Was it Draconic? Hope you're doing well. Apparently I was tanking. The one thing that can really go wrong in this fight is if the tanks don't know how to deal with the pretty hefty tank damage, which then extends to the healers. That's the only thing, really. Oh boy. I think I need to do a little bit of setup here. And I think we'll have problems now. Yep. I think that's a first. What happened is that about half, if not more, of the raid was attacking the spears. And based on how slow the fight was going, I think our average damage output is a little low. So it's just like a combination of things, so that we don't have the excess damage to kill the spears for the lulls. And then also we try to do that anyway. We also had some deaths, meaning that some of the strong, because of the tanks dying, which meant that the stronger DPS that, you know, were high on enmity had to deal with weakness and things like that, making our damage lower. Like, a lot of things went wrong for that to happen. I think the problem is I don't think the tanks are recognizing that Zangetile is a tank buster, because I just saw the warrior tank take, based on the damage they took, it looked like a clean, unmitigated Zangetile. And then they used Vengeance, because because reactive, like reflexively, oops, that hurt a lot, I should probably put up mitigation. It's something that happens. Oh boy. I thought it was more spread out than I was. I was in fact not. see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 first-timers. Redmouse says, hard to say if Odin could be safely added to trial roulette or not. That's basically like that. What happened just there is a pretty good demonstration of why I'm like, nah, probably not. I'll say you may borrow. Hope you're doing well. I will queue when it says, when at the start of the next hour there. And that's true, Necrophets. They could... like if they wanted to, the way would probably be to just nerf him a little bit, because he's, I would say Odin is further from an extreme than he is from a normal. Wasn't it always sort of an extreme? Odin is from a Realm Reborn back when they weren't quite sure what they were doing and what they wanted to do. Earth's Found is not in Trials Roulette. I can assure you, Snowshiro, that it is not in Trials Roulette. Vicky says it is. Does it say that it is in Trials Roulette, or does it say that it is a trial? Because if it says it is in Trials Roulette, then it is incorrect. Like, straight up, it's incorrect if it says that it is in Trials Roulette. It doesn't show what is in Trials Roulette here, but I can assure you that I've never, ever gotten Odin's Fount in Trials Roulette. Only Mentor Roulette. Indeed, it's in Mentor section. Hey! Brute justice! Ah! Ring target strikes again! Blam! Maybara? That's almost certainly gonna be a you don't remember that right, unfortunately. And I don't mean to be mean about that. It's like, it's a... Really? Twice? It's just a thing that I have seen a lot, you know, on account of having, for instance, my Mythbuster series. A lot of people that go, I'm pretty sure I've seen this thing once. But the evidence they have is, like, basically is, I think I did. And the thing is, the human brain is very stupid. It's a problem solver, and if the problem you're looking to get solved is remembering that you did Earth's Found in Trial Roulette, then your brain can absolutely make that. Like an AI, just... There you go, there it is. There's the time, you know, that time where you got Earth's Found in Trials Roulette. It can just make that for you. And it'll look like it's real. AI has invaded our brains, you say? Not quite. The human brain is an AI then? Well, not quite. Why am I tanking? Help! Apparently the tanks are both autopiloting. I don't know why, but it's always when I'm Black Mage I end up tanking things. For a moment there I thought I was also just going to get left for dead. Did you see that? Stack marker jumps into the stack of players and they part like the seas. What's with these people? Hey Paul, hope you're doing well. Bruh. The order. Hope you're doing well. Man. Okay, I think they got the stack. You know, to be fair. How? Why? What have I done? I didn't do anything. I will queue when it says 55. Maybe no, actually one tank didn't have a tank stance on ever. The other tank actually asked. The one that did have a tank stance on died to trying to solo what turned out to be a stack marker. And then like boss came back down, but the other tank didn't have a tank stance on. But and that doesn't change the fact that the one with a stance on just went shrug and didn't even try to do anything when there was like an ad on the loose just running around ganking the DPS. Just what? Hey Bokaj, hope you're doing well. You see, the funny thing is, Regal Style, you don't even have to do that. But if you have your tank stance off, then you need to actually be awake and pay attention and turn it on and provoke when you need to. Like, I'm just saying, the I don't want to have my tank stance on when I don't need it comes with more work than you'd expect. Hey Grim Raven, hope you're doing well. How can you tell which is a tank boss than a stack? Mistle has it. Oh. The funny thing is, if you just used some mitigation, you might have been fine. Or they might have been fine if they just use a mit. That's basically what I mean, Bokaj, is like, the reason why you need to be awake if you don't have your stance on is so that the top DPS doesn't die because you didn't turn on your stance. So yeah, like, you have to be really fast if you do that. Two meso terminals in the same day?
Ah, you've come. I'll begin by wearing you down.
I think Snowshero's here too.
I've created new endless for you. Not all are warriors.
Tank the boss fights.
Kill and survive and so forth. Here, I shall prepare the stage for battle.
Yeah, right, Necrophits? I think we've gotten like 3 level 100 duties. It's pretty huge.
The memories of a physician. One who saves lives should be reluctant to die.
I agree, Bokaj. I would also prefer that you start with your stance on, or at least establish second and enmity pretty early. I'm basically just saying that there is a way to make the tank that just doesn't turn their stance on until it is needed work. The problem is that a lot of people just don't do it correctly. Like, that's the real problem here. And there's no need to get so aggressive that you're like, if you're not second in enmity at all times, then you're a failure to the tank species. Because there is a way to make it work, and you don't need to be second in enmity unless something calls for you to be second in enmity. But I also prefer to just, you know, be second in enmity and leave it at that. But there are many ways to do it. It's just the problem that the ones that just don't turn their stance on in the first place are the problem. Like the ones that want to have their cake and eat it too, both not turn on tank stance, but also not be fast when they need to be. Like, that's where the problems arrive. And when you get to extremes and savage, there's a lot more reason to enforce that the off-tank kind of needs to be second, because there's a lot of mechanics that will target the 2 top enmity players. So that's the whole different story. But I'm specifically, you have to remember that when I'm talking about these kind of things where it's a little more slacked, it's because I'm talking about casual content.
Oh, you've overburdened the system. No matter, it served its purpose.
Oh. Yeah, like that basically that's what I'm getting at, is that the moment we jump into Savage, I'm like, yeah, the off-tank should make sure to manage their enmity better. A lot of Savage fights, or even extreme fights, will, within like a minute of combat, be like, oh, your off-tank didn't turn on their tank stance? Well, don't mind if I do, and then kill a DPS. Just like that. So there I agree. And best suggestion there, Grim Raven, is use Shirk on the main tank if you can. And if it's an alliance raid, be careful. But you could try and Shirk some rando in your party. Just make sure they're not close. Like, make sure they don't have a huge amount of enmity themselves when you do it.
Your sentence is death. How long can you defy it?
And yeah, if you rip enmity on the like from the main tank, that's also a pretty good sign that you're probably fine. You can probably turn off the stance for a bit if you want. But the problem there is, if you do that, you might forget to turn it on again. The reason why I mentioned that so specifically, Mistel, is because recently we had a funny story from Gazel, who I think 2 or 3 times in an alliance raid died because the tank in their specific party kept just sending the enmity to Gazel, and then Gazel died. So like, I don't forget about it. We have that funny incident to think about as an example. Uh-oh, healer dead. Healer dead. Snow Shiro, healer dead. Uh-oh. The Swift cast is not ready. I just remembered I have uh-oh. I have a brain problem here, I think. Ow. Yeah, I thought about that, but then I died to AoE. So Summoner says Phoenix Down isn't needed. The reason why I needed Phoenix Down was because the Summoner was dead.
beginning to tire.
And also the fact that I could equally have used a Phoenix down if our summoner didn't have Swift Cast. Like, same seas, right? Redmaster says, in that fight, when you finish first, who do you try to help free first? I always help the healer first. In fact, you can even tell that I have that strategy in mind, because before we get chained, I help the healer immediately. Because you can sneak in a couple GCDs before they lock on.
Memories from an age rife with death. The desperation will serve well.
And the reason I help the healer first is because, I mean, if they die, that's the one that makes it the most awkward. And and it doesn't really matter which, like, I would be more likely to help the one that has the least HP left, because the more players we can get, like, freed, the more easily we can help the rest. I don't think... I thought the same, Regal Star, but based on my testing, you don't get interrupted when you're casting Phoenix down. Although you might get interrupted by something that would normally interrupt you. So as long as you're not, like, tanking the boss as a DPS... Is Fire 2 worth skipping when you don't have Flare Star? That's a very complicated question, Deadman. Depends on the level. Depends on what options you have. If you have everything except Flare Star, then you're like level 90 something, probably. In which case, if you don't have any blanks left, then Fire 2 is a better choice than Thunder 4 and even Paradox at a certain target count, more than 5. And that is assuming that you're using Fire 2 from Umbral Ice 1, meaning it's really slow. The reason why it is worth it is because it makes that first flare stronger than it would have been otherwise. And also, the difference between doing that and the second best thing is usually like a % or something like that. It's really, really small. But let's also just say that the real problem is Blizzard 2. Fire 2 is an okay spell. Like, it provides something of value. Not much, but something. The real problem is using Blizzard 2 aggressively and regularly.
The spark of life is dimmed with every blinding flash.
But Fire 2 is still pretty far down, and like, it only beats Thunder 4 if you didn't need to apply the dot.
Death is everywhere, pillaging the promise of the future.
So is that the first Black Mage Opti talk tonight? Or is it the second? Uh-oh. Wow, they took a while. I thought it was dead. Weird. Oh yeah, that would be the configuration where you can't really keep uptime as a melee. I see it. We were talking about that earlier. I thought the same, Bokaj, but indeed there is one where you can't, as you saw. The only way you could is by eating a Vuln stack. And now that I saw it, it also, like, comes back to me that, oh yeah, that was a problem when I was soloing it as warrior as well. Let's do one more. I'll queue when it says 8 or 58. Yeah, that's true, Snowshiro. The reason why I'm saying the one is because every pattern where it would shoot in a horizontal line in front of the boss will have a diagonal line like that. So it really comes down to, like, yeah, indeed, there's two combinations where that happens. But it's specifically the determining factors. Where's the horizontal line? Which is why I've thought of it as one. In before we get Meso Terminal a third time. Or Ghost Park. But yeah, there's simply not a very... if you ask... like, you know that meme with, like, low IQ, big IQ, and then in between? If you ask the in-between on that one, they'll say that Fire 2 has no purpose once you have basically anything other than it for AoE. But if you ask the high IQ, then it quickly becomes, that's a complicated question. Because there's technically a situation where Fire 2 is good. Or, not good. Not useless. Is probably what I should say. How's it, Ballanty? Hope you're doing well. And thank you so much. But the times where Fire 2 is useful is, like, generally the points where Fire 2 comes up once you have, like, freeze and flare is usually really, really awkward. I get level 50, based on my calculations, aside from maintaining Thunder, of course, the optimal AoE rotation for Black Mage is Freeze, Fire 2, Flare, Transpose. Freeze, Fire 2, Flare, Transpose. Freeze, Fire 2, Flare, Transpose. And yes, genuinely, it is better to spend 3.1 seconds casting a 90 potency, well, actually 72 potency Fire 2. Oh, instant replacement. Then spending 5 seconds casting both a Blizzard 2 and a Fire 2. Why would someone leave this? That's not so bad. Oh wait, I don't have a Flare Star. That is a little annoying. This is Valley Amanda. The Valley Girl, Amanda. Yes, Valley Girl Amanda. Wait, what? Twice in a row? Okay. Okay. I don't know. It has been so long that I don't actually know what to expect, so I don't know when I can act. Are you serious? How long is it just doing those mechanics? I've done extreme too many times. It's a winged lizard. Are they river? Hope you're doing well. How much potency is Flare with AF3? Like 400 something? Oops. A winged that is indeed that would be a wizard. I thought I was a wizard. The fact the boss fight started with like 5 of those things in a row really tells me that when this fight, like people doing this on Extreme for the first time, they might have been a little surprised with how quickly the boss just came out swinging. I didn't even remember that this also was on normal. Oh, I think someone's gonna... Yeah, I had a feeling that there was a murder taking place, I think. Hey Tongue, hope you're doing well. I don't think there are wild charges on normal. But I don't know. What killed that individual was actually that it was only 2 players. The tank just ran over to the singular melee. Tornado! To be fair, I don't think the super cool tank buster would work super well on normal. But I do agree, it is a shame that it is only there on extreme. Heal her down! Just staying in the air, just in case that it would do that. Oh right, on normal it doesn't do the lightning aftershocks. Fair enough. Oh. Oh, our one of the dragoons knew me. Hey. Very nice. They could make it a double. You know, that is a good point. They could probably have made it something in normal. But to be fair, I believe the story reason... I'm pretty sure there's like a lore reason why there isn't a fire phase on normal. Like, I'm pretty sure that it's something about like... I'm going to try and be a little vague about it, because there might be some that haven't reached this point in the story, but I believe it's something like it just came out of ice, so it's too cold actually properly access its fire magic. Which is why the only fire magic it does is like those like few eruptions, and then it does that like big angry mode that does the permadot, but they don't have enough to like straight up, you know, go full fire phase on us. And the extreme version is, of course, you know, a retelling with like a lot of embellishment, and you know, wouldn't it be cool if, and obviously, wouldn't it be cool if the boss wasn't in a weakened state? But obviously if they wanted to include mountain fire, they could have just said, never mind. That's not how the story goes. I'm a lore over gameplay person. Wouldn't that exactly be justification as to why mountain fire wouldn't be there? Oh, you meant the opposite. Right. But that's also what I'm saying, is that if they wanted the boss to have a fire phase, they could have just told the story differently. Your chicken is defrosting. I do wonder if there was a, you know, a milder version of mountain fire, like you suggested. I wonder if that would be as cool as it is in the extreme version. I imagine the answer is no, and I imagine the existence of the weaker mountain fire would take a little bit of the coolness and like surprise out of the mountain fire that is in the extreme version. So maybe at the end of the day it's for the best that that they didn't include it in the normal version. And also, as Asymmetricon says, there's nothing wrong with the extreme having a unique mechanic. In fact, they have a whole unique phase. Make it Mountain Thunder. That could also work. Travis says, I assume they playtest and they just found another phase not being reached often, but I'm making that up after not paying much attention to the fight just now. We had 2 Thunder phases and 1 Ice phase. But I'm pretty sure if we had a stronger team, we just would only see 2 phases, so that there could be something there. Also, hey Mia, hope you're doing well. But yeah, so I was very extra interested in getting 1 extra duty, because I wonder if when I'm making the video I'll be like duty 11, like Meso Terminal. I might be like, if you don't want to see this quote unquote new duty, jump to this point. It might also be thinking about the time. I'm not actually sure if this matters, but it's easier to have one that is like less spoilery, I guess. And I feel like Vorcolado is a pretty solid fight to have separated from context. It doesn't really spoil anything. Do we consider the big chicken a new duty still? Me personally, it's not so much necessarily about a new duty. If it's the current patch, I might have. But if it's not the current patch, my consideration is, if you see that fight, what would it spoil you? You will be fighting a big, weird chicken serpent monster at some point that uses ice and lightning magic. If you look closely, you'll notice the level of it, so you'll know approximately when it'll happen in the MSQ. Compare that to the second trial of Dawntrail, where it's like, obviously, once you reach the point in the story where that character is introduced, it's almost a given that you'll fight them eventually. But you will be introduced to this character, and very early. And then, you know, then it'll be a while. So it's a bit like the second trial in Endwalker, where that's a giga spoiler, and it will always be a giga spoiler. But the first trial of Dawntrail is like, meh. I think... Also that, Redmaster. Also that. And that's another good example. That basically the boss we just fought is introduced, fought, and defeated within like one level. And yeah, also that, Necrophyta, there's a little thing where you read about it, and it's like, oh, surprise. So I'm basically just saying that it's a little for me. It's not so much about whether a fight it is a little bit about if a fight is new. Like if it's a current patch, then I usually try to be give people a chance. But when it's not the current patch anymore, it's like, well, you at least had 4 months. You at least had 4 months. But if it is a mega story related spoiler, then I'll try my best to just give a little notice. But that, of course, also means that me putting a spoiler is subjective. So there are some duties where I'm like, I don't think that's a spoiler. So I'll just not warn. While others, I'll be like, yeah, that's a spoiler. And others are like, why? Why would you do that? I remember early in Dawntrail, I think I put warnings on basically any Dawntrail duty. And it reached a point where some were like, wow, you really spent a lot of time on spoiler warnings. Exactly, Bokash. It really comes down to how spoilery is that specific thing. When it isn't the current one. But I do think there's some fairness in being like, if it's a current patch, I can warn about that. And that still gives people like 4.5 months, as it turns out, to get it done. And if you haven't done it by then like it's starting to be like, look, it's like if like a new movie is coming out, and some people will do this thing where they completely disconnect from social media to avoid getting spoiled on it, so that they can watch it. And after a certain amount of time, people will of course not talk about the spoilers anymore, because they finished. But if someone accidentally spoils you at that point, arguably, if you really, really cared, there's a reasonable chance that you had already watched it. I'm not saying that, well, after a certain amount of time, there's, like, it's not rude to spoil a movie ever. That's ridiculous. Like, of course. It's not super nice. Then you could, lead with a, have you seen this movie? Before you spoil it. But we're all, like, everyone who's watching my, like, presumably, most of the people watching my Mentor Roulette series are actively playing Final Fantasy XIV, which means that it would be like actively watching a series and then be shocked that some revelation in the story that happened 4 months ago isn't spoiler tagged. So, like, there is a limit. Is what I'm getting at. There should be a limit. And the reason why I then wanted a different duty to be the last one of the set than Mesoterminal is because I feel like it would be a little sad to be like, if you don't want to get spoiled on this duty, jump to this timestamp, and it just smash cuts to, thank you for watching. It'd be a little bit of a shame. Also, to like also round up on that with spoilers, is that for me, for nearly everything, the spoiler might make me more interested just being told a spoiler, because I'd be like, oh, how does that happen? So like I'm almost completely unfazed on spoilers. That's also why when I'm streaming myself doing the MSQ when it comes out, I'll be like, don't spoil, because I know that some people in the stream wanted to have my, you know, unspoiled reaction. First of all, I would also like to not be spoiled, but it's not any worse than me just going, don't do that, when someone does it. And usually people are pretty nice about like, oop, oop. Because like sometimes you don't think about it. But I also usually do the MSQ on day one. So like I'm basically like, don't spoil me as I'm actively watching the movie. Don't jump ahead. I'm watching it now. Just because you watched it 2 hours before me doesn't mean you can spoil me on it. That's not very nice. And for everything else, I'm basically completely unfazed. I don't care. Like, there are many movies that I haven't seen, not because I got spoiled the ending, but because I don't care. And I then, you know, got spoiled on it. Other cases, the spoiler didn't affect my interest in the movie or the series. Also partly because I'm a memer enough myself that I could absolutely picture a friend of mine spoiling me, quote unquote, on a movie by telling the incorrect thing. As in, spoiler, don't worry, I'm not gonna spoil something. Spoiler, and then say something that doesn't happen, but would be really amazing if it did happen. Also, pro tip on that one. If you're having trouble with, like, for instance, a friend coming into Final Fantasy XIV and you're having difficulty with accidentally spoiling things for them, if you're talking about story stuff, just, you know, mix and match with actual spoilers. Like, when it happens, and then also just spout a lot of incorrect stuff. And just a lot of random things that are totally incorrect, so that they don't actually know what's real and what's not. Okan says, even if you know about a twist that lets you pay attention to how the twist is set up. True. I'll say it's good to lose. Hope you're doing well. Thancred was never possessed by an Ashen. Wow, that's a good one. That is a good one. He was tired of explaining to everyone that he's Thancred. He wanted to say this is Thancred for the last time. But yeah, on that note, I guess I got reminded why I usually do sets more as support, because the queue times here really took some wind out of our sails. But that said, if you would like to be part of the Discord community server, there's a link right there in the chat. There you'll find the weekly schedule where you can see what else is coming up in the coming days. I usually update it Sunday or Monday. You'll also find the could you try moving to light? I have tried on light and it didn't do anything. It didn't change anything. You'll also find the announcement room with links to videos and streams when I put them out. And if you grab the reminder roll in the roller times room, you get a notification whenever I post a video or stream. So as an extra one around 15 minutes before stream starts, you can catch it right when you go live. And If you'd like to support the channel even more directly, you can follow, you can subscribe, you can become a member, you can use the super chats or the cheers, the bits and all that goodness. You can also gift memberships or subs. You can also, if you don't like any of that, there's also the Ko-Fi link right there in the chat that Ariel posted. You got warned that it was coming. It all helps support me in the channel directly, so I can focus on doing stuff like this with all of you. So thank you so much for the support. But that'll be it from me tonight. So good night, good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you are in the world, and hope to see you all very soon. Bye bye.